Hi everyone. It's been a while since I posted anything. I don't really have any excuses or anything like that, just life in general. Haven't been painting much either, but I have been collecting art supplies, so that's at least one thing. Creative, I guess you could say. Anyway, I walked into the Hobby Lobby the other day and I saw their sketchbook, and it really caught my attention. It had handmade paper, and the leather, the cover is made out of real wet leather, and the design on it really caught my attention. And of course, the pages itself, as you can see, they have kind of a rough edge, and they really do look handmade, and they felt really nice and thick. And I thought that maybe it could handle watercolors or some other water media. So I decided to buy it. It was like $16.99 at Hobby Lobby. It's the Master's Touch. I think it's the Hobby Lobby brand. And so, yeah, I bought it and brought it home and decided to give it a try. Um, One thing I did notice as I started painting this, the water does tend to sit on top of the page a little longer than I'm used to with regular watercolor paper. Now, keep in mind that my art room, is really hot, so working with regular watercolor paper, it actually presents kind of a challenge because it dries up so fast. I really have to work fast, so a lot of times I wind up with rough edges and hard edges and where I don't want them and all that stuff. So having the water sitting on top of the page longer, in my case, is actually desirable. It gives me a chance to work it a little more and have a chance to blend it a little more. So I was happy with that. Um, I was afraid because the water would sit on top, they would bleed through. But as it turns out, it actually handles the watercolor pretty well. Now, I did not push it a lot. Like I didn't do a lot of layers. I didn't do a lot of scrubbing and trying to lift the color. I did lift a little bit, but not a lot. And I did add another, as you can see, I'm adding now a different color on top of what I already painted, and it seemed to handle it pretty good. It doesn't bleed through. There was actually, I don't think it even buckled in this case. It really did well with the watercolor. I was impressed. I was pleased with that. So I'm definitely gonna use a lot of watercolor in this sketchbook. Now, the second um, media, medium, media? Sorry, forgot which one. But anyway, I decided to test out other media on this page as well. So the second one I decided to test was acrylic ink. And the one thing I've noticed is I did a sketch first of all. Instead of, like with the rose, I just went in with just straight watercolor, no sketches or anything like that, just whatever felt right. With the second one, I did a sketch first and erasing some of the lines, the extra lines that I had on there. I actually wind up roughing up the paper a little more than I like. So um, sketching and erasing is not recommended for this particular paper. Um, and then applying the water and the ink on top of it, it actually, I don't know if it's because of the erasing or because of the ink, but it started to buckle a little bit. Not much. No, it wasn't really a problem. It wasn't an issue. It's just I saw when I flipped the page later that there was a little bit of a buckling, kind of a bulging, whatever you want to call it, that happened. Um, it didn't bleed through. Again, no bleeding happened, which also made me pretty happy. Um, so yeah, watercolor and acrylic ink are perfectly fine for using in this particular sketchbook. Now, obviously, I'm assuming um, colored pencils and other dry media are perfectly fine for this particular paper. I did not test those. I was more interested in the wet media. So yeah, watercolor and acrylic ink works just fine. The other things I tested, which I did not record, were Tombow brush pens. The paper did pretty good on those as well. Didn't bleed through, um, didn't buckle, anything like that. It did start to pill a little bit when I tried to blend out some of the markers, but other than that, it really, as long as I guess you don't overdo it, it does just fine. And then the final test I did was with alcohol markers, and that one is definitely not recommended. It bled through so bad. I I'm glad I put actually the extra paper between the pages, because to prevent bleeding all the way through. Because I don't know, I'm not saying it would have bled onto the other pages, but it definitely bled through to the other side. So yeah, definitely alcohol markers are a big no-no for this particular paper. Um, Overall, I'm pretty impressed with this sketchbook. The only thing I really didn't like was the fact that the cover, because it's leather, it's stiff, so it kept threatening to close on me. Like, it really didn't want to sit flat. Now, I am hoping, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, that because it's leather, that as I use it more, it's going to soften and be more pliable and work easier to work with. But it's definitely not a book I would recommend taking for like urban sketching, stuff like that, because you definitely have to fight with the cover to keep it down. Maybe clamps or something, but I didn't have any clamps available when I was doing this test. So yeah, I had to constantly fight. As you can see, I'm holding the cover down with one hand while I'm painting with the other. So yeah, other than that, I'm very happy with the sketchbook, and I'm definitely gonna keep painting in it now. I have so many sketchbooks that I'm jumping between, so I don't know how soon I'm gonna finish this. But yeah, I definitely would recommend for watercolors, inks, brush pens. Definitely works. So anyway, that's it for today. I don't know how often I'll be posting, um, but I'm definitely getting back into painting. So keep an eye out for more videos from me. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.